Hey everybody, welcome back to Horizon Forbidden West. We're in a new settlement here on our way to, I guess, sort of setting up the embassy now because we sort of have to clear the area. There's a few new quests that we can grab here. A friend that we ran into, Petra, said she was going to be at the tavern, and I'm wondering if that's in here, because I wouldn't mind touching base with her. This looks tavern-like. Oh yeah, this is the place. This is the place. This is the place. Because there's something we can maybe read over there. If this guy needs food items, Milduff, I'm happy to get him.
Hey, Milduff. Milduff. I took some of your stew last time I went into the wilds. Kept me going for a week. Felt like I could have put a strider in a sleeper hole.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Sounds like you're serving up some impressive provisions here.
Not again. You can have the discount too, but you'll have to come back later.
I think you have me confused with someone else.
Oven didn't send you?
No.
Oh, my apologies. It's just that his minions won't stop pestering me.
But the facial animations are so
Since I'm
good.
in the midst of a crisis, perhaps you could skip to what it is you wanted?
Some of your food?
Of course.
Are Ulvin's people causing you problems?
Oh, yeah. They constantly demand my best, but the equipment I need to make my signature dishes isn't built for batch cooking. And don't get me started on the Ulvin discount they feel so entitled to.
Okay, that's what he was talking
And
about.
if you refuse?
I make meals, no trouble.
How did you end up in Chainscrape?
Heard about a new and upcoming town at the edge of the frontier. Where there's a town, there's a tavern. I was in need of work. So I got myself out here and started cooking. Some of these people had never tasted proper boars and berries stew before. Anyway, next thing I knew, people kept coming back. Guess they liked my food. Or the ale.
Well, both.
Your last customer mentioned your cooking really kept him going out in the wild. Where I'm headed, I could use some of that.
I would be happy to oblige, especially since you have the decency to ask pleasantly.
But
But my special
Yeah,
brewed griddle
exactly.
is no more. Without it, I can't cook any of my signature dishes. I hate to think what'll happen when I'm forced to refuse Ulvin or his goons. Even if I already had the right ingredients, there's nothing I can do. Unless you can source me a temporary replacement?
What do you need?
For the ingredients, a few pieces of decent wild meat, and I'd say a big handful of bitter leaf stems. That'll do.
I wonder if
As
it's
for the
possible that we
griddle,
might have that
A
already.
corrugated metal panel might suffice until I can have a new one forged. You'd likely find one in a scrounger pile if you follow the river to the northeast. Don't worry, I'll clean it first. You'll have no issue finding boars and bitter leaf on your way, assuming you're as much a hunter-gatherer as your clothing suggests.
Thanks, Milduff. I'll keep an eye out.
So that's what gratitude sounds like,
And don't let anyone push you around, okay?
if you say so.
We gotta grow this man a backbone. A dash of courage. Okay. Level 5. So we actually have the wild meat. We need bitter leaf that grows on rocky terrain, and we need to go to the scrounger site for his actual cooking
Wild meat?
apparatus.
Need to fix a bitter leaf and grab a metal panel from a scrounger.
I've marked this thing because it looked interesting. It's unknown machine strike. I don't know what that entails, but my eyebrows. A complaint form smudged with ash and filled with angry glyphs. I know where this is going. Javad, please help. The product in question maimed me. I filled out the required form below. I still can't even get a refund from Della and Boomer. I ask you, or I beg you, give me justice. The complainant, Jordert Guardsman. Product description, Bangbuster, I think. Boombuster? Does it matter? I bought it 3 days ago. I know you remember me. Incident description. Again, I just told you I was demonstrating this scorched out hammer to my fellow guardsman by slamming it on a piece of rock. And instead of booming the rock, it boomed towards me. And now I don't have any eyebrows. Am I surprised? Am I sad? Nobody can tell since I no longer have eyebrows. So in case you weren't aware, let me tell you, I'm very unhappy and I want my shards back. Refunds denied. Customers made fully aware of the prototype's volatility at time of purchase proceeded with purchase regardless, proclaiming, I am not a baby. Yeah, cool. Okay. I'm looking for our friend in here. I'm not sure where she's at, but let's see what this is.
Aloy.
Oh, there she is.
Change your mind about that brew?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even the savior of Meridian needs a challenge.
Come for
Play
that
some
beer after
strike.
all, eh? Here, sit down. Get a pint in her hand. Wasn't expecting you to swing by.
Since when do I do what's expected?
There's that spark. Fire and spit.
Feel it's the least we can do.
Fire and spit.
Probably what that tastes like.
That's a blast from the bellows. Won't fix the forge, but at least I can forget about my troubles for a while.
Like what?
Take your pick. We got bodies to bury from the bristlebacks, the work stoppage, Olvin grating the gears about his concession decree. Hey! Weapons off the table! Don't listen to me. Nothing a cold brew and knocking some heads together can't fix eventually.
So the bristlebacks in the Daunt.
Bro.
Where did they come from?
That's the thing. No one rightly knows. They just showed up one day, rampaging around the valley like they exploded out of a forge. Lost some good people. But I heard talk of some vanguards trying to take them down.
Did they come through here?
Stopped by briefly for supplies. Ulvund was none too pleased. Won't be able to crank it to his advantage once the bristlebacks are gone.
But how could bristlebacks and the Daunt help Ulvund?
2 words. Concession Decree. Since no one knows where the bristlebacks came from, Ulvund has taken to blaming the Karja for them. He's hoping to dig up enough old resentments to get a strike going until the concession's signed. This is just his latest attempt. He's been trying to rile up the workers since the day he rolled into town.
And people actually believe him?
Lots of folks suffered at the hands of the Mad King during the Red Raids. Give him half a reason, they'll blame the Karja for anything.
Damn Karja slavers.
Guy knows his politics.
I thought you'd be back in Freeheap.
Well, after the big battle at Meridian, I went back, but realized it was running smooth. Didn't need me. Heard about the rebuilding out at Barren Light. Figured they could use another hammer. Been scraping by ever since.
You could always leave.
And go back east? Nah. I ain't one to leave a lit forge. Besides, someone's gotta be a squeaky wheel for the workers around here.
So about Ulvund.
Around here, everything's about Ulvund.
How'd he end up in charge?
He got here early, like a squirrel smelling a fat nut.
Yeah, sometimes that's all
He
it
knew
takes.
rebuilding Barren Light would need stone and timber. So he jangled purses all over Mainspring, getting investors to front claims on anything in the Daunt that might be worth a damn. Thing is, all the bankers back home know that this is Karja land, and the Sun King can revoke those claims at any time. That's why he's desperate for the magistrate to sign off on a concession decree.
This concession decree, what is it exactly? And how would it help Ulvund?
It's pig diddle, that's what.
Okay, wasn't asking you there,
writ that would
Nips.
put all Osram claims in the Daunt under Osram law, even though they're on Karja land. It would mean that any existing ore, stone, and timber claims couldn't be revoked by the Karja. No more risk, no more hesitation for investors back in the claim to pour in the shards and expand their business. And since Ulvund has a stake in all those claims, it would make him richer than a scrapper in a junk heap. Not to mention Chainscrape would become an Osram municipality, so he could buy enough votes to call himself an elderman. He's a sly old badger, I'll give him that. Figures if he keeps up the pressure, eventually the magistrate will sign.
Well, I have to be going. Thanks for the drink, Petra. I'm glad I stopped by.
Yeah, that was
Anytime,
cool.
Flamehair.
I gotta remember that she calls her flame hair. That's so good. Okay, what is this about? Play machine strike.
Come to revel in some strike, sister? Let me set the board.
I was just.
There's a smile you
passing
can't
by.
trust.
First timer, huh? Don't worry about it. I'll go easy on you. You got any pieces?
No.
Well, aren't you in luck then? I got an extra set, a Tanakh original straight out of the Forbidden West. Sit. I'll run you through it in a hot spark. I'll give you something special if you win it on my boards, too.
Gosh, she's gonna make me look bad. Okay, it's time for Big Brain. Looks like multi-level chess. Oh boy. Beginner's tutorial. Okay, there's a bunch of stuff going on. Opponent set, open glossary. The 2-player strategy game played by the tribes of the Forbidden West. Each player owns different boards and favors a particular set of machine pieces. Defeat them all and become the ultimate strike master in the West. How to win. Whenever an opponent's machine is destroyed, whether by your hand or theirs, its value is added to your pool of victory points. Acquire 7 victory points before your opponent destroy all their machines to claim victory. Okay, let's just go through a tutorial here. You opponent set. Sure. Doesn't mean anything to me.
All right, let's start off simple. The Tanakh like to say that Machine Strike is a game of pure strategy. We each get a set of pieces. Each piece represents a kind of machine, and each machine is worth a different number of victory points. And to win the game, you'll need to gain 7 victory points by destroying the opponent's machines. It can be tricky remembering the details of every machine, so we use these notes to keep track of them.
Okay.
You see that number on the top right corner?
That's the victory points.
That there is how many victory points you'll get for destroying that machine. Notes also tell you how far a piece can move,
Okay.
how powerful their attacks are,
Okay. And then like a range, I guess.
distance they can strike from,
And health, probably.
and of course, their health.
Okay.
Okay, that's enough for now. Let's just play. I'll explain the rest as we go.
So she has
own the
2 that can
board,
attack.
so
I don't
I
have
get to
any
choose who goes
attack
first.
damage.
Since this is your first time, I'll let you go. Usually you get to choose which pieces to set on the board, but this will do for now. Pick up that machine piece to your right, and move it forward.
Okay, use the arrows to move across the board.
And remember, each machine can only move a certain distance. Take a look at your notes if you need a reminder.
So I assume that that other one could move up to and hit me. Oh, that's cool. You can rotate these as well. Let's see what happens. Can we not go here? Oh, it just wants us to move here.
Easy
Got
enough,
it.
huh?
I'll just listen.
Now, you get to move 2 machines each.
Oops.
Perfect. There's not much else to do for now, so just end your turn.
Okay, this is intense.
We're forging onwards. Let me move my pieces here.
I wonder why she
And we're back
angles
to
it away
you.
like that.
This time, why don't you try attacking one of my pieces? Try with that machine on your right first. Now move the piece close. When performing an attack, you'll be testing your machine's combat power against the opponent's. A machine's combat power is a combination of the terrain your machine is standing on and its
wow.
own attack power.
The
This board
terrain
only
matters?
has grassland terrain, which has no effect on a machine's combat power. And your current machine has 2 points of attack power.
Okay, okay.
So in total, your machine's combat power equals 2 points. Since my machine isn't the one attacking, it has 0 points of attack power. And just like your
Gotcha.
machine, it's not affected by grassland terrain.
So they
right
don't
now,
swap.
The difference in combat power between the 2 machines is 2 points. This means your machine can do 2 points of damage to my machine. Did you get all that?
Yeah, I follow.
Knew you were a smart one. Finish up by attacking my machine. Not pulling any punches, huh? Now grab that second machine of yours. See how your machine can't move close enough to attack mine? You can make your machine sprint.
Oh,
That
neat.
lets it move 1 space further. Try it out.
Sprint. So what's the downside of
Downside
sprinting?
to sprinting is that your machine can no longer attack.
Whoa.
Now, some players like to take a risk and overcharge their machine in cases like this. Overcharging lets you attack after a sprint, but it will damage your machine's health by 2 points. So use at your own discretion.
Which would mean
Let's
that,
try doing that now so you can see what I mean.
yeah, if we do it, then she could kill our piece next turn. But I guess we'll do it.
That's about it for your turn, then. Now, I'll let you in on a neat trick. That machine of yours, the one closest to me, grab a hold of it. Same as in the wilds, machines have both armored points and weak points.
Oh,
You can
that's
see
the
'em marked on the
positioning.
pieces. Blue shows where their armor is thickest. Hit them there, and you'll do some damage, but not a lot. Now, red shows the machine's weak points. Hit those, and you'll deal a mighty blow. Here, let me show you.
Yeah, okay.
Rotate that piece so your machine faces mine. Now let that machine have it.
You can see we get that plus. Well, the +1 I'm assuming is a victory point.
Off the board she goes, and there's your first victory points. You don't have 7 of them yet, so let's keep going. Your machine attacked mine, but hasn't moved yet. Go ahead and move downwards towards my remaining piece.
I probably want to rotate towards it.
You've already attacked a machine and moved your piece. But if you overcharge your machine, you can attack a second time.
Sacrificing
And by
mine,
the look
though.
of your machine's health, you'd be sacrificing your piece to defeat mine. But sometimes that can be a good thing. Overcharge your machine to attack mine a second time, and I'll show you what I mean.
Yeah, because we'll clear the board. So then I don't even know if she gets more.
Ain't that a thrill? Now, because your machine was knocked out at the same time as mine, we both get the victory points our machines are worth.
Right.
Good news is, since you're the one attacking, you're gonna receive your victory points before I do.
Oh.
Which means you can reach the coveted 7 victory points first.
So that could be good for a
That's why
finisher.
sometimes losing a piece can be the best way to end a game in your favor.
Yeah. Cool.
Now, you'll notice you didn't get quite up to 7 victory points this time, but you did destroy all my pieces. That means you're the winner. That wasn't so hard, was it?
No, that's
Just
cool.
remember
Way
to
more in depth
always
than I
check for the
thought.
best terrain to attack from. You'd be surprised the advantage you can gain over an opponent like that. I know it saved my behind in a game or two.
Thelma, this was
I
great.
remember that.
Oh, before I forget, these are all my spare pieces. I want the Savior of Meridian to have them. It's a small set to be sure, but it should be enough to get you in on any strike games you find out there. You might even fancy looking out for them strike carvers. They've got all kinds of unique pieces that can turn a game in your favor, though they'll need the right materials to craft you one.
So it's like
Or
pay to win
you might
almost.
find them in the wilds if you're lucky. I know I've lost
That's
my fair
cool.
share of pieces after a night of machine hunting or brew hopping. No need to thank me. Always a pleasure to help out new strike players. Now, if you feel like playing a real game, I've got plenty of other boards. I could even teach you a few more tricks if you're up for it.
I'd be super down,
Thanks.
but we're a bit busy at the moment. One step closer to mastering the game of Machine Strike. Terrain and knockbacks. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll definitely be
You know
back
where to
here.
find me, Red.
And we'll invest some time playing this once in a while. Let's go ahead and grab the other side quest that's out here.
Throw me in with pig. I dare you. We are on the same side here, Aloy. The bristlebacks threaten us all.
Oh, drop the act.
Oh,
We
this
all
is
know it was
Olven.
the Carja who let the bristlebacks into the valley, sent them straight through the gates of barren light.
That
What?
Yeah, she
do
did
you
say he
want?
was blaming the Karja.
Some kind of payment.
My dear magistrate, you think I can be bought?
If you want that whistle blown, all you have to do is have your soldiers remove the bristlebacks and sign the Concession Decree. Face it, what other choice do you have?
Hi.
Savior, what auspicious timing. Might we discuss a matter of importance to the Sundom?
We might. Later.
Very well. I shall be waiting.
So, the Savior herself. Walloper of Derval, gutter of Hughes.
Maybe.
I've heard many tales of your beauty and heroics, my fierce lady warrior. Ulfant Freeholder, at your service. So, what could have dragged you away from the fine silks and wine of Meridian to this smudge of a settlement? Your saviorly attention must be needed elsewhere.
I'm here for the embassy and...
The embassy? Why, by the forge. Ah. Greater gears for greater matters. Guess that means you'll be moving on.
Once I've dealt with any problems around here that need my saviorly attention.
Ah, the bristlebacks, of course. Got to get rid of them if you want that embassy to take place. Well, best get to it, hey? And off you go.
Not so fast. You don't seem to have a high opinion of the magistrate?
Well, I refuse to play nice to some fancy-robed parchment pusher when my fellow laborers are being bullied, intimidated, and taken advantage of.
How noble of you.
Noble, ha! Born with a hammer in hand, I was. Nobody handed me anything or dropped opportunity into my lap. Everything I've achieved, I've done on my own.
And where is this hammer now?
The, burden of leadership forced me to set it aside.
Oh.
The Carja risk nothing, while demanding that good Osram gamble with their lives out there. Someone had to step up and say no more.
You ordered the work stoppage?
Indeed I did. We're laborers, not soldiers. Until the Carja clean up their mess and give us the fair deal we deserve, I'm not risking Osram lives.
Fair deal? You mean your concession decree?
It's not my decree. It's on behalf of all the good Osram laborers of this land who do all the backbreaking work, while only the Carja reap the rewards. All we're asking for is the ability to share in this prosperity for a land worked by the people, for the people.
I have a feeling this guy's gonna have a bad ending.
And just how much would be your share?
Only an amount appropriate to my contributions to this community, of course.
If Chainscrape is on Carja land, shouldn't a Carja be in charge? Who appointed you?
The sensibilities of good Osram folk, of course. You think a Carja can head this whole venture? Ah! The magistrate can barely make the trek from Barren Light without losing a few screws.
So you have no real authority then? People only follow you because you say so. Loudly.
Anyone who has followers has authority. I've been with Chainscrape from the beginning. I mean, I'm practically its founder, and its honest folk know I'm indispensable to its success.
You said you founded Chainscrape. Somehow I doubt that.
Practically founded, I said. I alone.
Well, then he's
saw its
technically
potential when it
correct.
was just a smattering of tents in Barren Light's shadow. I invested in the mine, convinced some friends back home to do the same, and here we are. You could say Chainscrape is what it is thanks to me.
Oh, so you're not just standing around and profiting off everyone else?
Not at all. Sure, I make a little return on my investment here and there, but my main priority, as it was from the beginning, is to look after the well-being of these honest, working Osram.
Where's the whistle?
Right in the middle of town, but with the threat out there, I'm not endangering innocent Osram lives.
I'm going to clear out the bristlebacks. And when I'm done, this valley is going to get moving.
If that's what it takes. Until then, I'll keep looking after the safety of these good folk.
Just be ready to blow the whistle.
Okay, so bristlebacks have run rampant in the Daunt. How did they get into the valley in the first place? Talk to the Carja magistrate.
Better see what that Carja magistrate wanted. I bet He's in the tavern.
There's something back here. Hope they don't mind. Thank you. We'll go ahead and grab this other quest over here as well. Items in the junk category can be sold for metal shards. They serve no other purpose. Alright, nice.
I hope Corvin and the others are doing better than I am.
Hey, Arnuf.
What happened to you?
That damn mine is what happened to me. It won't be the last injury if Olvin keeps shoving those tongs into those tunnels.
What mine?
Northeast of Chain Scrape, where the river ends. I told Corvin we should stop when the first cave-in happened, but Olvin probably threatened to cut off our pay.
Of course he did.
Or worse.
How about you slow down and take me through it? You mentioned you were injured in a cave-in.
Yeah, a couple days ago. That's how I hurt this blasted leg. Corvin and the others were opening a new vein while I was checking on an older one. As soon as their blast hit, the tunnel I was in collapsed. Might have dodged it if I wasn't running on barely a spark of sleep. We were pushing too hard and too fast.
And you're afraid Corvin and the others might not be as lucky if it happens again.
Mm-hmm. Hit the nail right on the head.
Okay. And Ulvund is not being supportive?
How come Ulvin's in charge? Don't these mines belong to the Karja?
Try telling Olvin that. He brought in all the backing to get them open. Might as well own them. Fire and spit. You ask him. He owns us as well.
Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting.
Who's Corvin?
He's their foreman. And a damn good one. The kind that knows how to deal with management when it gets unreasonable. But Olvin, his demands go beyond unreasonable. Corvin's been doing his best to appease him. He even blamed himself for my injury when it was Olvin who ordered the extra shifts.
Sounds like a good guy.
That's why we all put up with the long hours and lousy conditions. But if the whole mine becomes unstable, I'd rather suffer Olvin's wrath than die buried in rubble.
Well, yeah. So these guys really only keep doing this because of this Corvin
on
guy.
your crew if I'm in the area.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
I'll keep an eye. Okay. An injured Osram miner is worried about the rest of his crew who might have been working under dangerous conditions. Go to the mine. This person, I think they said, was in the tavern. So we'll head back in there to have that chat.
You! I know you see me.
Is there anything else going on over here?
Savior! Over here! Savior, thank you for taking the time. And my condolences that you had to endure all the bloviating.
I've dealt with worse. It sounds like he's really trying to put you over the barrel.
The idea that the Karja purposely let bristlebacks into the Daunt, it's completely absurd. But the louder and longer he says it, the more support he'll get for his damned Concession Decree.
How did the Bristlebacks get into the Daunt?
No one knows for sure. The first report of them came from west of the quarry. But unless they have wings I don't know about, I don't see how they could have come over the mountains.
No other way in.
The only way I know about is barren light. Look, if you can get to the bottom of this, I can offer a considerable bounty in return. Help me shut Ulvund up.
Oh, I don't even know the guy, and I'd love nothing more.
What is this concession decree that Ulvund wants?
He wants the Sundom to designate portions of the Daunt as Oseram holdings. Only the portions, mind you, that produce any value.
Let me guess. Because he stands to profit somehow?
Exactly. With the Daunt under Oseram law, he could secure more investment for their numerous ventures.
He can't get those investments without the concession?
No. Not while there's a chance the Sundom could revoke their access. Hence, why the concession is so important to him. And why blaming the Karja for the bristlebacks, no matter how absurd, works in his favor.
How did you get stuck out here?
I asked for the posting, believe it or not.
Big regrets.
Overseeing the entire valley on behalf of the Sun King? It was an honor. Is an honor, I mean.
But your job would be a lot easier without someone like Ulvund blasting hot air all the time?
Ulvund's not going anywhere. He's been around longer than I have. Even fancies himself the founder of Chainscrape. I'll find a way to live with him. I have to.
How does blaming the Karja for the bristlebacks help Ulvund get his concession?
Look around. This may be the Sundom, but Chainscrape is all gears and rust and bad ale. Claiming that the Karja loosed the bristlebacks in order to intimidate Oseram laborers into obedience. Well, let's just say no one here has forgotten the atrocities of the mad Sun King.
It fits the narrative.
With the bristlebacks bringing work in the valley to a halt, Ulvund has plenty of time to pick at barely healed wounds.
And if the Oseram refuse to work, unless the concession is signed, you won't have a choice.
Correct. The reconstruction of Barren Light must continue.
For Ulvund, he looks at it as like a win-win.
You said the bristlebacks were first spotted west of the quarry?
Yes, according to one terrified laborer, said the ground trembled before they came charging down the hillside. He took off and ran all the way here.
Good place to start looking, then.
If you learn the truth, maybe Ulvund will stop blaming the Karja for every problem under the sun, and maybe then he'll actually focus on rebuilding Barren Light instead.
I highly doubt that he's gonna stop blaming them, but we could dream. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We need to go to Aaron's last known location first. Let's do that. I'm looking at the levels. Like, we're only level 3. That could change pretty quickly depending on how some of these things go.
Do I have...
Now, I'm curious. We talk to these people. Can I talk to you? Huh. Oh, here's our stash. Can be found in every settlement as well as many locations throughout the world. When you gather items beyond your carrying capacity, excess items will be sent to your stash. From here, you can retrieve items individually or restock all your resources by holding square. By upgrading your pouches at the workbench, you can increase your carrying capacity. Yeah, cool. Restock all categories. Seems awesome. And pretty straightforward. Wonder why I can't talk to him. All right, well, let's head to the last known location then. And we'll see if we can't get into some trouble along the way. I'm very curious to see these bristlebacks. We already learned that the acid arrows will be good for them. And when I think bristleback, coming from playing a lot of Dota, I imagine the hero, the bristleback. And so I can only imagine what that's going to be like in this world.
Where are you off to?
Shoot elemental canisters on machines with the matching arrow type to create a large elemental explosion. scroungers.
This whole area is rigged with tripwires. It's always something.
That's the guy we just scanned.
Hold tight. I'll see what I can do.
Try luring them into the tripwire.
Exploring cauldrons might teach me how to
Ooh.
override these things.
Okay, so these tripwires. Let's see what happens here. Let's not waste these just yet. Let's see what happens. He's gonna run right through here. Look at me. Ooh. Okay, that did not kill him. Wow. Let's use the other ones. My worry is that I accidentally run through them. I don't know if that's a thing. Oh! Nope, not good. Wow. Absolutely decimated. Okay, this is very, very exciting. I like that. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Okay, let's try that again. Now, I'm tempted to see what happens. Okay, yep. I break them. Guy didn't quite see me coming. There's the acid.
Hey, fine. Kill them however you want.
Oh my. Over here. Oh, he jumped it too. I think I taught him. He's learning.
That's the last one.
That's cool.
What a day, what a day.
Now, can I take these traps? Yes, I can.
Thank the Ford showed up. Tripwire's handy, but machine hunting's a youngin's game. Come on over. Let me give thanks proper like.
Let me just grab all this stuff. I know I blew off some parts there. Do I feel bad that I'm taking all of his defenses? No. I helped him. It's actually, we're only getting one metal shard from those. I don't even know if it's worth...
Spare a moment, will ya?
I could have just skipped those guys and came right to them.
My pack's full. I can get it from my stash later.
Okay.
Would have been stranded for who knows how long with these scroungers around. I see you're a practiced hunter. Took you less time to kill those scroungers than vanguards to kill one bristleback.
So the vanguards came through here?
Yeah, just a bit ago. Took down that bristleback, headed south. But then those scroungers showed up to carve the carcass, as they do. Then another bristleback ran through. I'm telling you, it's crazy around here.
So the Vanguard went south.
Probably. This whole valley is swarming with them. The Vanguard seemed dead set on getting rid of them.
I see.
Hold on there, Red. If you're gonna go chasing across the Daunt, you're gonna want a tripcaster. Not just any tripcaster.
Yes, I am gonna want that.
Free of charge.
Workmanship looks solid enough.
Yep. Been tweaking the design since I left Chain Scrape. More room to tinker out here and less chance of, well, accidents.
Did something happen in Chain Scrape?
Well, like someone.
Let me guess.
Olvend.
Olvend.
Back when I had a place in town, he took a real interest in my wares. Kept pressing for the Olvend discount. I said no. He didn't like that so much. I can't prove it, but that Jeff bucket set my workshop on fire. Felt it best to put some distance between us after that.
Okay, so he's playing dirty.
Cable car operator told me the bristlebacks just appeared yesterday. Do you know anything about them?
How is old Karn? Back in the day, me and him got into all sorts of trouble. There was this one time that...
Anything about the bristlebacks?
No. Karn said true. He just showed up and ran amok. Lucky for me, I've got you and the Vanguard swooping in time to save my backside.
Okay, well, we need to keep going.
I should get going. Thanks for the tripcaster.
While you're blasting bristlebacks, I think I'll head down to the hunting grounds. Did you know they have a tripcaster trial? Come by later if you want to try it out.
Oh, I forgot about the
Maybe.
trials.
After I get things under control,
I think the tripcaster lets us set those traps.
I should be able to pick up his tracks with my focus.
Yeah. Okay, so tap R2 while aiming to set the first anchor point, then aim and fire again to place the second. There's a limit to how many tripwires can be placed at once. Be careful not to run into your own tripwires. Okay. Enemies that trigger the tripwire will receive shock damage as well as shock buildup indicated by an icon above them. When the buildup icon's full, enemies will become shocked for a limited time. Enemies cannot move while in the shock state and are vulnerable to critical strike melee attacks. Use the focus to scan enemies and see if they're strong or weak against shock attacks. So there's the pull. There's the tripwires. Let's craft more frost bombs here. Stack up on arrows. Okay. We're looking for his tracks. Oh, God. Just absolutely decimated the guy.
There's tracks headed up the hill. The errands?
Ooh, look at
My
this.
focus can help me follow them.
I'm not actually seeing the tracks. Oh, what is this?
It's a ruin from the old world. I could find something interesting inside.
Bristleback. Detachable, weak versus shock, strong versus... Is that strong versus acid?
A hit with an acid arrow could trigger a chain reaction.
Oh, okay, so that's what we gotta do. Okay, hold on. Is that chain reacting? Oh my god.
Let's do it.
Try pushing it off.
That is insane. Thank you. Oh, that's nice that it automatically upgrades our tracked little side objectives that we've set up too. A coil is now available in your inventory. Unlock coils in your weapons by upgrading them. Equip coils you loot or purchase to improve your weapon's performance.
I'd like to feel my leg.
I gotcha.
Mighty thankful to you, Savior.
Just Aloy is fine.
Aaron mentioned you're not one for fancy titles.
You're Vanguard.
Well, here to escort Vaudise's delicate behind to the embassy.
If we can get rid of these bristlebacks.
Captain said to keep an eye on Chainscrape, then these ugly lugs showed up.
Gave the first one a good beating.
But didn't quite have time to roll out of the way when it fell.
Told you it wasn't a good idea to eat that much before heading out.
I should probably get going.
I really like the idea
Now,
that...
if you see any more of these bristlebacks...
I'll make sure to roll out of their way.
Might want to take some of these with you as well. They're handy in a pinch.
Thanks.
Stay safe, Aloy.
I like the idea that they can be weak to something, but then they have a specific... smoke bombs confuse nearby enemies and escape back into stealth. Smoke bombs can also be used underwater. And how do we get those going? Oh, it's just another thing to swipe through. Okay. So yeah, it's cool that they can have a some type of weakness, but that they're also like resistant to acid, but then he has his own acid container that causes a reaction. Yeah, that's definitely the way to go. Now, what is this? What is that? I have no idea what that is. Huh. Is this marked on the map at all? Not even. Or maybe it is. Vista Point Tower? It looks like a corroded, like, power box, you know? Huh.
I can grab this from my stash later.
Okay. Let's go back to looking for those tracks. Admittedly, I couldn't even see them. But she did say that the tracks looked like they were going up. But it keeps bringing me back here. Is it this view I need to be in, maybe? There we go. There we go. Okay. Acid bristleback. So it's weak versus shock. We should definitely tag the acid canister. The tusks are detachable. Key upgrade resource. It's another thing we could tag.
These bristlebacks are everywhere.
Just being able to tag those individual parts is such a nice improvement. I don't recall that being there in the first one, but... Where did it go? What the hell? Maybe it's got cloaking tech.
use shotguns
Oh, that's the
against
one
that
I
machine.
tagged. Yeah, shock ammo would be great. I don't have that, but I do have the shock tripwires. Oh my god, it sounds...
Sounds like someone's putting up a fight.
Yeah. I got an acid trap as well.